The New York Giants are 1-4 on the season. Their only win coming against the Arizona Cardinals, who are 1-4 on the season. And I really think the Buffalo Bills have a great shot at completely dominating this game against Brian Daboll and former GM assistant of Brandon Beans, Joe Shane. But welcome to my channel here, Bills News Consolidated. We need to discuss it. Buffalo Bills versus New York Giants. This is going to be a great game. We all know Brian Daboll's scheme, right? And I think Sean McDermott probably knows it best, and all the players and the coaches, like, we know their offensive scheme. Brian Daboll even saying that he might even call plays this week for the first time in New York Giants. And his time there with the New York Giants hasn't been long, but just like Sean McDermott calling defensive plays, Brian Daboll could be calling offensive plays. Then that'd be great to see Sean McDermott versus Brian Daboll. You know Sean McDermott knows the deficiencies in Brian Daboll's offense. You know, I believe that's a reasoning behind Ken Dorsey wanting to evolve. You know, evolve as a team, evolve along with the NFL and what's successful. And you really see how teams have been playing the Buffalo Bills with those two high safety shells, a ton of zone coverage, and that is really what we faced so far this season. Now, there's been some mix-ups and changes, like the New York Jets calling man every once in a while. You know, even we heard that this last game here with the Jacksonville Jaguars are calling zone, they were calling man, they were just mixing all game long, creating a little bit of confusion there, and they were stout against their run as well. So I think really the Buffalo Bills in this game, we need to have still a balanced attack. You know, Daniel Jones coming off a concussion. He's going to be coming back to practice on Wednesday. But we all know, like, a Wednesday, he hasn't been fully practicing all week. They do have Tyrod Taylor. A lot of people are wondering and thinking that we may have seen Tyrod Taylor, but Brian Daboll specifically said he's very optimistic after talking to Daniel Jones that he's going to be a go. Saquon Barkley is dealing with an injury of his own. We don't know if he's going to be a go. It doesn't seem that way as of now. It does look like Saquon is going to be still out. But I know the Buffalo Bills going against former coach here, Brian Daboll, offensive coordinator, but also Bobby Johnson, their offensive line coach, was our offensive line coach. You know, I think we just have a lot of intel. Like, yes, they know us, but we've kind of changed. Like, we've kind of evolved. Like, we've brought in different players and things, right? But, you know, they obviously have a different team and a whole set crew of different players. But I think we know kind of what they stand for, and I think we ultimately are going to know what's coming. There's not going to be a whole ton of surprises, I don't believe, coming from this Giants offense going against our defense. And that's really important because of how depleted we are defensively here. You know, Kaiir Elam catching a little bit of flack last week going against Calvin Ridley, but Kaiir Elam specifically saying, like, he didn't like that turf that he was on. He couldn't feel his feet under him. That's definitely big. Taron Johnson saying he didn't like the turf. An anonymous player also coming out saying that he was playing on concrete. The clip of Matt Milano I showed on my live stream last night, we can clearly see Milano's leg getting stuck, his cleats getting stuck in that turf, and we now know it ended up breaking his leg. We're still trying to find out if there's ligament or cartilage or whatever damage there, but it's just absolutely unreal. Absolutely unreal, and I really believe the Bills, being this depleted defensively, are going to know what to expect from this offense, and that helps us. That helps us out. We're waiting Christian Benford. Christian Benford could be back this week. It does seem like he was just kind of rested as a cautious thing, precautionary thing. He hurt his shoulder against Miami, ended up coming back into the game because of Trey White's injury, and then was out in the Jacksonville Jaguars game in London. So maybe he should be good to go after resting up basically a couple weeks here, getting fully healed up for this upcoming matchup against the Giants. I think that's huge. Dane Jackson was tested by Doug Peterson. Like, Sean McDermott, we ask our corners to come in and tackle, right? And as an offense going against a Sean McDermott defense, you can scheme things up and force that corner, that perimeter corner, to come in and make that tackle. If you want him to be the guy to make that tackle, if you want to play that matchup, you can scheme things up offensively and do that. Doug Peterson did just that, knowing that Trey White was out. He tried to exploit Dane Jackson. He tested Dane Jackson early in the game, running it towards him, making sure that he could actually help against the run, and he did. And then also Dane Jackson stopping that touchdown in the end zone there, sticking his hand up and deflecting the ball away at the last second. That was a great play. And after that moment, Doug Peterson became a Dane Jackson believer, and he said, I'm going to start testing Kaiir Elam. And he tested Kaiir Elam in the run. He wanted to see how formidable he was against the run. Kaiir Elam did good. He almost led this team in tackles. He may have led the team in tackles against the Jaguars. Actually, Terrell Bernard did, and I believe Kaiir Elam was second. But then it came against the pass. Calvin Ridley defending Calvin Ridley, right? I mean, the speed and athleticism of Calvin Ridley, but Kaiir Elam saying that he didn't trust that turf. He didn't have proper, wasn't confident with his feet on that turf during that game. And we really saw like Kaiir Elam didn't get beat extremely deep. It wasn't like he got completely burned. He was just getting beat. Like he was still there to make a tackle. He was still there to make a play and everything. It wasn't like he was getting roasted play after play. So I really liked what Eric Washington said, our assistant head coach, defensive line coach said. He said he wouldn't bet against Kaiir Elam. And you listen to the players too, how hard Kaiir Elam is working. I know it's a popular take for Bills Mafia to call Elam a bust after getting beat out by Christian Benford and even Dane Jackson and all these things. But you really never know. Kaiir Elam has the physical traits. He's a unique specimen, and really last year with the limited amount of snaps that he had, he really was doing pretty good. He had a decent amount of interceptions for the limited amount of snaps that he had. He was on track. Like if he would have started the whole entire season like Trey White did his rookie year, who knows? He could have very well had just as many interceptions as Trey White his rookie year. So Kaiir Elam is definitely a big question mark here. Is Christian Benford going to be back? I'm assuming Benford would take Kaiir Elam's spot ahead of Dane Jackson, just seeing how things shook out last year. Dane Jackson replaced Trey White last year. You know, these perimeter corners, they definitely have a preference on which side they play, whether they play better. You know, they like playing on a certain side of the field. You know, maybe Kaiir likes playing on a certain side. Maybe Benford likes playing on one side. Dane Jackson likes playing on the other. So we really have to pay attention to that. And obviously, Dorian Williams, Tyrell Dotson working in a rotation. And McDermott even said it. Like, Dorian Williams started to miss a couple tackles against the Jaguars. And that's why Dotson came in. Dotson finished the game with like 5 tackles. You know, I think he had 1 tackle for loss, too. He started balling out. Started doing some big-time things. But maybe we see Dotson in early down and distance, short yardage situations like first down, second down, you know, third and short situation, Dotson out there. And then, you know, third and long, third and 15 or whatever, long down and distances, sure passing downs. We have Terrell Bernard and Dorian Williams, the rookie, out there. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are getting hyped up for this New York Giants game, a game that the Bills are definitely going to get back on track. Appreciate you, and go Bills.